All right, now we're recording. So, Bux, I have not really watched you in a pretty long time. So I'm not really sure where your progress has been going and all that. So do you struggle with the Link matchup in general? Or not? Because if it's a matchup, it's because it could either be a matchup or a player thing. So depending on which one it is, it'll be different things that I'll be looking at. With other zoners. Okay, gotcha. Alright, so I'll definitely see what you do here then. Generally speaking, this is not a super difficult matchup for Duck Hunt. Though the main issue that you always run into is just his kill power is really good. Let me check the volume on this. I think we could put on the desktop audio for a little. Let me know if the audio balance is good on here. I kind of have to do this raw. Okay, well, we'll just check this out. Just ping me if there's any issues with the audio. You're doing a pretty good job so far. You're keeping up the pressure on him really good. For the most part, you were avoiding his things until that one can interaction. Oh, okay, yeah, definitely got that's kind of a hard one to avoid in that situation. I'm not sure. What percent were you at? I kind of. Okay, yeah, that could have killed you. That could have killed you. Wow, that's rough. All right, let me see audio. Yeah, you can do that set guy if you want to. In-game sound not clear. Yeah, for some odd reason, it looks like it's not. Oh, maybe this is why. Hold up. Okay, yeah, because I didn't know this was a thing. This is the first time. So I decided to make all the sound come out of the microphone over here. And because I had it set to default, it actually didn't pick up that the audio was coming from there. So now the sound's going to work. Let me know if the balance is a little off. But in terms of things of what I've noticed right now, you're pretty good at avoiding things. The main issue right now is just that when you're getting that positional advantage and that pressure and you're kind of in Jama's face, you're not doing too much with it. And you've kind of got your next attack already planned out. However, it's like you planned the attack without him moving, which that never happens if you hit somebody. Yeah, that was a very bad gunman. Which, I don't think I need to tell you that. Okay. Yeah, whenever you're in a situation like that's always really good to do. Basically, just keep sharking underneath the platform until they decide to move away, just because you're going to just be able to get so much damage off of up air and juggle them like crazy. And then once you get them into buffered air dodge territory, or in this case, Link's going to come down with down air eventually, just because he's going to think he's going to challenge you out, which I think he did that once, and then you punish with up air. Make sure I would say, to prevent it from getting too stale, and when he's at a percentage like this, if you can do a back air and you know it's going to send him pretty far off stage, like 74%, you got a pretty good ledge guard scenario or edge guard scenario set up at that point. Go ahead and go for that back air over there. So that way up air is going to be able to kill, and then you're just going to be able to just potentially take a stock there just by changing the position of where he is instead of just keeping him juggled up here. Not to mention, you got your can over there, so you're going to probably want to reset that, and you'll be able to reset that by sending him off stage. But, you know, if you were keeping the juggles, him potentially trying to retreat to the other platform, it's not a bad idea to keep the can there at the very least. I love Duck Hunt so much. I love his character. I think he's hilarious. Oh, yeah. I don't know if that up smash would have even killed. He would have had to have bad DI for that. And you don't even have rage too, so maybe even with bad DI, he probably would have lived. In a case like that, remember, until he starts spot dodging, Gunman will pretty much always confirm into a grab. Most of the time they'll hold shield. There's always the chance that they might jump, which is the one thing that you'll have to look out for. So if you're betting on that, that's the only reason for the up smash. Outside of that, generally that's going to be the setup you go for. Yeah, so if you got a Link charging an arrow, yeah, if you got a Link charging an arrow, there's zero reason to ever go for a clay pigeon in that scenario. I think what would be pretty nice to do, place a gunman and then start pinging the can. So then that way, if he decides to charge it up for longer, then he has to respect the can there. But in this case, he kind of instantly threw it. If anything, I think the best thing that you could have done is actually just like short hop, so then like get to that platform. So then that way you've got the bottom covered, and then you also got the top covered with can. So he's in just a really, really bad scenario over here. Because like if he starts throwing out moves, you can throw out the can, so then that way he has to like force himself into shield, or you can just punish the window between when the moves are active and not active. So then you would have got another edge guard scenario set up. So really got to take advantage of that positional, the positions you can put Link in. You also have to make sure you know how to punish that up B. There's no reason for you to get clipped by that many of them. Oh, yeah, that's misinput. Okay, good spacing. Ooh. So, that was very scary what you did there. So, if he decided not to run back there, if he just, like, you know, decided to hold stage, he could have just, like, up smashed you. There's nothing you could do in this scenario right here. And that probably would have taken the stock, too. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, that gunman did not work in your favor. Don't really blame you for that one, though. That was just good awareness on his part. Oof. The other thing, too, is, like, you're going for way too many clay pigeons in this matchup right now. Oh, yeah. Is audio good? Okay, I don't see anybody say anything about audio. So I'm assuming audio is good. Yeah, you're going for way too many clay pigeons in this matchup. The one time where it's good, if Link does whiff that up B, let me check how weak those lingering hits are, because I have a strong feeling you could probably get it through that. So if you do up B on the ground, starts. Wait, are you serious? Wait, that can't be right. Okay, well, according to UFD, Link's up B's just 14% all the time? I don't know, I don't buy that. That don't seem right to me. Huh. I really don't trust that. Okay, I'm gonna go into trading mode real fast. Cause that's kind of disturbing if that's what happens the entire time. Okay. 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 Let's see if this is actually kind of cursed. Very much. Okay, so it drops to 12%, 9, then 7. Okay, yeah. So, good. So, the timing of it would be a little... Okay, good to know. Yeah, so I was about to say, like, when you get to that later portion, that shouldn't happen. Okay, so, knowing that, so not the second one, but the final part of up B, you are able to throw Clay Pigeon through that. So there, whenever he whiffs an up B, I think by the time, if you're like about this distance, if you do like the hard toss, like after he starts it, it should be at that point where it's going to be weak enough. So, you know, it takes about like 18 frames for it to like actually get tossed. So, you know, by frame 21, that's when it turns into 7%. So I think you'll be fine with that. And, you know, the move itself is 76 frames. So yeah, as long as you see it, if you see the up B come out, just as long as you're like not right next to him, like over here next to him, you got hit. Just hit mash side B, and then you're going to get a strong punish, especially since it's like he can't really get out of Clay Pigeon loops. Like, while his Nair is fundamentally busted, I think it's a frame 7 option, so he can't get out of loops with an attack. The only way he's really getting out of those is if he air dodges out. So that works out very well for you. So yeah, you'll be able to, if you actually hit him with the Clay Pigeon in this scenario right here, from this side, you can combo that into death just because you have the whole stage to work with. And then the other side, you could I think the down air would probably kill him as well. But yeah, just something to keep in mind, just because you've been having a really hard time punishing all those up Bs. And howdy. Okay, good can awareness there. Okay, so that was good right there. You knew you couldn't do much about that. And that's the other reason why you got to be careful about throwing out the Clay Pigeons. It's just because of bomb. Oh man, he could have. Oh boy. Oh, I see. You got the shirt too. Shout out to that. But yeah, no, definitely the big issue you had. You got to punish those up Bs correctly, because that should be like 60% or stock. And then the way that you try to punish in positions is not exactly good. Just because like you have all these scenarios where you just have him in this corner, but you kind of have no advantage there. You're just kind of going for blind guesses instead of just like going for pure option coverage and then just kind of responding to the options that he goes for. You know, the main thing with Lake is that his startup is generally pretty slow. So if you get in his space, it's hard for him to get anything out. And then he can be fairly safe on shield. Oh, wow, we're completely changed the matchup. This thing only said Link. Okay. So, yeah, Young Link's a very different story compared to Link. You know, Young Link's fast. He's a small little gnat that's going to just throw a lot of things at you. But he's very cool. But let's see what you do here. Okay, so something kind of important to note about you being in disadvantage in this entire sequence. Yeah, it pretty much happens for that entire minute there. The big thing that I just noticed is like you were just so gung-ho and ready to press a button attack that you never really thought about, how do I prevent myself from getting out of this scenario? You were just like, mash, mash, and then, yeah, you just got hit and punished for it. You got to remember, while we probably outrange Young Link, we don't have a disjoint, so he's pretty much going to beat out most of your moves unless he's going for Nair or back air. So you're going to have to go for these situations where you're going to want to use that double jump, just kind of get out of that zone. You know, use your air dodges when you have to get around those boomerangs and all that. But generally speaking, like at these lower percents, you don't really want to fight your way out. Like there, like you just fell right on top of another up air. So that Clay Pigeon against that boomerang wasn't necessarily bad, as you could have set up your own advantage there. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you don't really use air dodges to recover. You're kind of always coming down with an attack, and Jama's just exploiting that like crazy. Um, the other thing too is like you're not really looking for scenarios where you can open up Young Link. You're just sort of trying to force your way in. So just really watch the patterns that he likes to go for, and then just like kind of methodically find your way around it all. And then, you know, you can throw out the gunman there to just kind of help block everything. Now that you're not dealing with Link, you don't really have to worry about the bombs just kind of being auto-placed in a position, so he can just detonate it at any time. These gunmen actually do a lot better against just keeping out all of his projectiles, so that's something that you can use a lot more here. What else is there? What was that? Yeah, no, it's just like you really just need to stop trying to go in all the time. Like, you know, losing sucks. You never want to be like having a lot more percent than your opponent or be down a stock, but like when you got 6 minutes and 20 seconds left, just, you know, take your time, breathe. You've got time to turn things around. Just really analyze what you're doing, what your opponent's doing, and then how to get in on that, because it doesn't feel like you're watching at all. Like there, that was just pure desperation. Like the second he threw out that F smash, you pretty much gave him the go ahead to get back on stage for free. Like this is where you're supposed to like loop him for like 50% or take his stock. You know, have the can, just throw it out so that way you cover jump, and it should just land like right here. So then that way, if he does normal get up, he's got to respond to that. If he does get up attack, while the can will be thrown back to you, you will basically be able to get a free punish. Like when he's at 68%, if he does get up attack and he hits the can, roll in and then up tilt him. So that way you can at least get a juggle started. You could do up tilt and then like up air. Then read the landing situation there, then hopefully do a back air to send him off stage or something like that, maybe fair. And then that would just do a lot better. You definitely need to work on your ledge trapping, because your ledge trapping game is extremely weak so far.
I'm literally just standing here. There's one that actually literally just standing. Oh, is air from ledge? Okay. Oh,
God, arrows are so fast. Oh yeah, that can should have landed.
He's dead. He's there. Oh, ow, ow. Okay, Jamma put it to 100. I'll be all the way down with that down air. Yeah.
Yeah, that down air kind of comes back to that whole situation I was talking about, as like, you know, stay below the platforms, and then just be ready to intercept. I wish you were ready to get that one, because like when you have Clay Pigeon at the ledge and you're just fighting against anybody recovering, or that you know they have to go there, that is so free. It will catch. There's no 2-frame that gets around Clay Pigeon detonating at the ledge. So when you have that in mind, that means it's an auto confirm into just like a short hop down air over there. Yeah, see, like there, you know, if you were underneath this platform and threw out the can, that means you got this one covered, you got that one covered. So if he hit that one, if he hit the can, you know, it would probably, I don't know if it'd be sent to you or sent a different direction, but then it would just put him on this platform over here, which then you'd be able to shark very, very easily and just respond to it.
Damn, I put it to 100. I'll be all the way down with that down air. Yeah. This is where you're not really gonna have to find this kill, but Duck Hunt, you know, it's Duck Hunt. He can't kill all that well. It's Duck Hunt. If Can was a reliable kill move, I think Duck Hunt would be insanely. That would be a little gross. Yeah, it would. It's not as bad as it could be. Bomb it in air. But oh, there it is. It sent. Yeah, send that way. I definitely did not. That killed me. I did not think it would send that way. Oh, down tilt sent it. That.
Oh yeah. So what you got? When you have situations like that, you got to make sure you reset your can. That's one big thing I should talk about in this matchup too, is you have to remember that holding shield against like Young Link is actually very good, just because like it takes a lot longer for that hook shot to come out compared to regular Link's regular grab. So because of that, he's going to be less prone to throwing it out, and you should have more time to react to it in general. So, you know, don't be afraid to use shield in this matchup. It looks like Bux is out of the chat. All right. Oof.
Tried to do that. You really just tried to punish younglings down tilt on shield. That's not happening. Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah, you're gonna be living that.
That down tilt up B almost killing, not quite. Oh. I love the Z drop nair because I feel like it really could have worked out if, you know, if the bomb hit. But. Yeah. Ooh, up air trading with down air.
So when you've got like a very ambiguous throw can set up, I think, yeah, right here. Okay. Because like honestly, I wasn't even sure if that would hit. I wouldn't have pinged it. That would have just thrown and then pinged. I would just like dash here, so then that way, if he holds shield out on it and it doesn't land, then he'll probably be able to get a grab. And then if it does hit, then when he gets hit, then he'll be just right over here. So then you could have jumped up air, and you could have jumped back there to then set up a whole ledge guard situation, and you basically might have set up put yourself in a scenario where you could have taken a stock. So really keep that positional advantage in mind.
Yeah. Ooh, up air trading with down air, but that's not the trade you want at all. After watching,
Oh yeah. Also remember, you can use get up attack. If you see anybody pressing buttons, get up attack will beat every single attack that you see going there. So remember that. Get up attack's very good in this game. But yeah. Oh, okay, you are. Cool. But yeah, I mean, that was really what your problems came down to. Just sort of tunnel vision. Having basically no ledge guard scenarios where you were actually getting a full advantage off of that. I think pretty much everything I saw. Oh, Plague! Thanks for joining. Yeah, pretty much every single time that you were at the ledge, he just sort of got back for free. You weren't really thinking about the scenarios of what things that you're covering there with Can. You weren't really responding to the options that he was doing there as well. You were always just trying to bully your way in. And against a character like Young Link or Link, that's exactly what they want, just because like all the projectiles kind of set up for that scenario for you to close it and they just auto punish you. Think about like when you're a Duck Hunt and you're fighting against like Fox or Falco. You're just looking for them to run in and then you just punish them. And except in this case, you don't have buttons that are nearly as good as like Fox in this scenario. So, you know, keep them there. Find those openings, you know, sit back, be patient. There's no rush to go in against Link or Young Link. And then, you know, once you get those hits in, send them off stage. Learn how to edge guard them because they are not hard to edge guard. Like the most difficult thing about it is like if you're specifically regular Link is if he hits himself with the bomb, there's just a lot of different angles he can go that depending on what his percentage is. That's really it. Outside of that, if you can get him like below horizontally, you can back air him very easily, and he'll die pretty easily. Young Link will die easily just because he's light, but he can go pretty far at the very least. And then yeah, just learn how to punish up B, please. that is not a move you should be getting hit by. And of course with Young Link, because it's multi-hit, Clay Pigeon will go entirely through that and just get a free punish on that. Thankfully, you didn't get hit by up B here in this, because you're not really doing up B as Young Link. You're doing that more as regular Link. Yeah, no, that's going to cover a lot of it. I can't really say much about Shield Can, because you were not really in a scenario to use that at all, except for like maybe like 1 or 2 interactions, so I don't even really think that's worth much commenting about. But yeah, no, you definitely need to learn how to fight those projectile characters, because considering that I got to see, while they're both Link, they're sort of different with the way that you have to approach them. It looks like this is just kind of an issue that you have, and I think you were mentioning that earlier, that you have issues against projectile characters. So yeah, no, just learn how to use your projectiles to create the openings against theirs, and then find your way in from there. That's sort of the name of the game against every single projectile character, unless you're fighting Samus, because Samus has no way to get in. With all the Links, they at least have like bombs and arrows, so they could at least kind of snipe you out and get an advantage started that way. Even boomerangs can call out like certain things as well. But yeah, no, it's like you should just not be running in like that against them. So yeah, that is going to be it for this first one.